A first-class maiden falls in love with a poor boy aboard the luxurious doomed ship. Titanic is one of the most popular movies in history, but the movie did take some liberties. For example, did the main characters actually exist?
Perhaps not as real people, but as types they certainly did. Were there young women who had to marry for wealth? Yes. Were there evil industrialists? Yes. However, I have to say that most of the industrialists that we know about on Titanic actually were quite gentlemanly.
Chances are Jack, a third-class passenger, would have never met a first-class passenger, Rose.
The classes were pretty well divided on the ship. Could a young boy perhaps have gotten off into some area? Possible, but not likely.
Even the story of the necklace was made up.
Not to say that there weren't other necklaces on the ship that were equally valuable and equally beautiful, but there was no actual heart of the ocean that we can identify.
The story does portray the sinking well, from the line,
"Iceberg, what ice?"
to the ice getting on the ship.
First-hand experiences do say, I went up there and there was ice on the deck, clumps of ice, and some people had a little snowball fight.
The lights did stay on, even with part of the ship underwater. The musicians did play as the Titanic was sinking. And the old couple going down with the ship?
And he wanted to put his wife into the lifeboat, and she refused and said, I've lived with you all these years, I'll stay with you now.
So the final verdict of movie versus reality,
I think it reflects well on the story of Titanic, but I don't think there's anything that can tell the story of Titanic as well as this exhibition, Titanic, the Artifact Exhibition, with objects that went down with the ship and have now been recovered, brought back, and interpreted for you to tell their own story.
in Grand Rapids, Steve Zagman, WZZM 13 News.